Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today, this video is taking a minute to even start recording. Sorry, I hit you the mic. Sorry guys. But yeah, this is taking a minute to even set up. My computer's been having issues all day, and it's finally working. But today we're gonna be reacting to a new video. We are going to be reacting to I Solved Pokemon's oldest debate. Let's get straight into this. It's a game theory video, so I think it'll be pretty good.
Absolutely 0 cents. The fearsome Charizard, it stands at a measly 5 foot 7 inches, has a couple inches shorter than me. The formidable Lucario, he's just 3 foot 11.
I knew that one. I knew Lucario was tiny.
Disney rides. And Furret, the Pokemon that's based on a ferret, is supposedly 6 feet long. Not sure I want that thing running up and down my pant leg. Anyway, I think
what the heck?
The sizes
okay. But it's I don't know. It's weird how they take sizes, because like Ekans and like other like snake Pokemon, they measure the like length of it, but like Pokemon that are like tall, they measure the height. Like a Charizard, they'll measure the height of, which is weird, but whatever.
All over the place. But there's one Pokemon that takes the insanity and turns it up to 11.
Let's see.
The float whale Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Wailord is massive.
This guy has sparked fan rage, so much so that it's even spilled into the realm of a full-on academic paper, and all of it stems from one simple question:
it's what height and weight
lighter than air? Seems like a weird thing to be asking about your 37-foot-long whale, right? Wrong.
But it just doesn't weigh much.
You see how this has become one
That's
of
the thing, right? It doesn't weigh anything.
So today
Wailord doesn't weigh like anything for how big he is. I think that's the debate.
Answer: has the internet hit rock bottom, or is everyone else, including this Pokemon, full of hot air?
Okay.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where today we're going back to our roots, applying real-world research to fictional worlds. Break out the pixel rulers, class, because today we're overanalyzing the disturbing science of Pokemon. And no, I am not talking about how a tiny Skitty and a giant Wailord are meant to breed. Not touching that one with a 10-foot Alolan Executor.
Yeah.
At least, not yet. Maybe
what?
Nope, today I'm talking about the fact that Wailord is light. Like, stupidly light.
Yeah.
As I mentioned in the cold open, Wailord's Pokedex entry
Jigglypuff is another one that's light, but Jigglypuff is meant to be light.
At 877.4 pounds, or about 398 kilograms.
Yeah.
That's no doubt heavy, one of the heaviest Pokemon in the entire series, but it is comically light when you compare it to your typical whale. Blue whales, the thing that Wailord is based on, usually weighs somewhere between 290 and 330,000 pounds, or between 130 and 150,000 kilos. Practically 350 times the weight of your standard Wailord. So these guys are heavy,
ridiculous.
But not too heavy. However, where things get controversial is when you factor in Wailord's other measurements.
His
Wailord's
size.
quote-unquote height is listed at 47 feet, or 14 and a half meters. He's massively big for not a lot of weight, prompting many fans online to speculate that Wailord may in fact be the lightest Pokemon in all the games relative to his size. Some have even gone so far as to say that Wailord is so light, he's literally lighter than air. The argument's been so heated, in fact, that it eventually spawned a real research paper from a real university in the UK. And their conclusion? Wailord is, in fact, lighter than air. Strap a string on that guy, you got yourself a big old whale balloon. Reddit, though, they weren't buying it.
I don't believe that.
Of course they weren't. It's Reddit. This prompted a massive post arguing the exact opposite, that no, Wailord is not lighter than air. So today, loyal theorists, we're going to be putting an end to this seismic debate. We're crunching the numbers ourselves to see who was right, who was wrong, and who was super nerdy. It was all of us. All of us.
Everyone is super nerdy. Everyone is involved in this is super nerdy.
The clouds like a Thanksgiving Day parade balloon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Morty time.
Leave your theories in the comments below. I'll pick my favorites in the next episode of Morty.
So, MatPat occasionally reviews theories. Okay.
How does one go about proving whether a fictitious whale is able to float through the air? Well, it all comes down to a little scientific principle called density. Density is the measure of how much mass something has per unit of volume. If we have ourselves two cubes of equal volume, one made of lead and the other made of wood, the
lead
cube
one's
of lead
heavier.
would weigh more, thus be more dense. If I then drop that cube of lead into a fluid that's less dense than it, say water, the cube will sink to the bottom. If I drop the cube of wood into the water,
it's gonna float.
It would float since wood is less dense than water. It's all pretty self-explanatory stuff. It's also pretty darn easy to calculate. All you need to do is divide the mass by the volume, and bam, you've got yourself the density. Classic equation, D equals M over V, DMV. One place where dreams go to die. So let's just take ourselves an easy example. sample here to get warmed up.
D&V is crazy
Voltorb
slow.
is a nice round sphere,
Yep.
so figuring out its volume should be quick. According to the Pokedex, Voltorb has a height of 0.5 meters or 1 foot 8 inches. Its
Yep.
radius is half that, so
So 2.5
0.25 meters. And the
quarter
formula for
meter.
the volume of a sphere
Why am I
is
saying
V
1.5?
equals 4
Quarter
thirds pi r cubed. So plug it in our values, you get a volume of 0.065 cubic meters. Now all you need to do to figure out Voltorb's density is take that listed mass of 10.4 kilograms and divide it by the volume that we just got to get a density of 160 kilograms per cubic meter.
Jesus
Comparing that
Christ.
to the density of air, which is 1.293 kilograms per cubic meter, we can see that Voltorb is definitely not floating away on the breeze. But the density of water is actually much higher, 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. So Voltorb would actually float on the water, despite him being a giant metal ball. Which means in real life, you'd probably be able to teach your Voltorb how to use surf. That being said, this is all pretty easy math.
No, you
right?
would not.
Here's the problem with Wailord, though. Unlike Voltorb, who's a perfectly shaped sphere, Wailord is a blimp-shaped whale, and finding his volume is not as easy of a plug-and-chug solution. So let's just take a look at how both sides of this Pokepuzzle tried to solve the problem.
I think
First,
they did it differently.
There's this paper written by William Farmer, a student at the University of Leicester who wrote an undergraduate research paper in the school's Journal of Interdisciplinary Science Topics. I gotta say, love the fact that this debate's been going on for so long that the kids who used to argue about it on the playground are now old enough to write their own published research papers about it. Truly, William Farmer, you are a man after my own heart. If you're looking for a job, feel free to apply for script writer. Anyway, he calculated Wailord's size.
That would be crazy if he was
classic theorist move, and he used a cylinder
he's
to
definitely a
estimate
film.
Wailord's base shape, claiming that
theory.
the overestimates here, these empty parts where the cylinder is bigger than the body, those would help account for the parts that stick out like his tail and his fins. The volume of a cylinder amounts to pi r squared h, so pi times the radius of the cylinder multiplied by the cylinder's height. So with a Wailord cylinder height of 14.5 meters and a radius at 2.855 meters, he figured out that Wailord's volume would be around 370 cubic meters.
How did he
making the
figure that
density
out?
1.08 kilograms per cubic meter, which is lighter than air at 1.293. So, case closed, right? No. You see, despite this coming from an academic journal, the paper makes a lot of assumptions about Wailord's shape and volume, and this got Reddit eager for a more precise solution.
I was about to say,
this post comes from the
not
R
his-
Pokemon subreddit by
that's
user
not- that should not
Petscott
be
who also
his
used
size.
pixel measurements, but this time refined Wailord's estimated shape. Instead of just reducing him down to a simple cylinder, they instead decided to add a hemisphere to each end of the shape. That way, they didn't need to explain away as much empty space. They also recognized that pixel measurements tend to be slightly inconsistent across different games, so they tried to correct for that as well. This led their estimate for Wailord's radius to be smaller, 2.2 meters as opposed to 2.8. Their cylinder length then was 8 meters, leaving about 2.1 meters on each end for the tail and the head. In total, this refined equation where they added up the volume of the cylinder and two hemispheres gave them a significantly smaller volume, only 166.24 cubic meters, less than half what the academic paper had proposed. Divide Wailord's mass of 398 kilos by 166, and you get 2.39 kilograms per cubic meter, which is nearly double the density of air and a vastly different conclusion than the academic paper. With numbers like that, your float whale Pokemon here, he ain't floating anywhere. So which is right? Well, off the bat, the Reddit approach seems to be the more accurate method. While both options are assuming certain parts of Wailord's shape, the Reddit one is taking precautions by doing multiple calculations to account for the nuances of both his shape and the differences in pixel measurements across games. I gotta say it, my friends, I am on Team Reddit for this one.
I think the Reddit one's more accurate here, but
leave it there. These calculations, they're not perfect. Between its little grooves, its crevices, and the giant fins and tail, there is no perfect shape to truly describe what a Wailord is. It's not a cylinder shape, it's not an ellipsoid shape, it's just a Wailord shape. This is where our two density debaters get into trouble. But what also complicates things is that the scale of Wailord has never been consistent. Since Wailord is so much larger than just about every other Pokemon in the game, it's always shrunken down so it can fit within the confines of the system, the battlefield, or the street. And with Wailord being so large, any amount of estimation error gets exaggerated to become a whale-sized problem. Without factoring in that sort of inconsistency, who knows? Might conclude something insane, like saying Wario is 10 feet tall or something ridiculous like that. As a result, my dear
even though Matt,
pixel
you did
measurements
that.
might not be
MatPat did that.
to give us the most accurate numbers in this instance. So, how do we get the most accurate results and settle this debate once and for all? Well, in the wise words of Patrick Starr,
We have technology.
since the release of both
Amen,
the Reddit post
Patrick.
and the research paper, Wailord has made the switch to the Nintendo Switch with Pokemon Sword and Shield. In the Isle of
Yep.
Armor DLC, we finally
Perfect.
have Wailord
This
known
is
as
this is
Wailord
what I was
Warrior
gonna say
since
that you
Arceus
can use this
Pendant,
as.
which means that we finally have access to a full 3D model of this Pokemon. No
Yes.
more pixel measurements based on weirdly angled
I'm
sprites
so
to
happy
life.
they're using this
means that we
because
can
I
take
remember
new
seeing this
100%
Wailord
accurate
whenever I
3D
played through
model
this
and
game.
import it into a
And I
3D
was like,
modeling
oh my
program
god,
like
they can use
Blender.
this.
While this program is typically used for creating 3D models, it also allows you
Yeah.
to do things like measure the volume of your, or in this case, Game Freak's creations. Therefore, as long as
Yeah.
we have the proper scaling figured out, we can use Blender's
Okay.
built-in tools to get the exact volume
Okay.
of Wailord. No estimates required, including the tails and fins. Now,
This
up
is
to
perfect.
Point, everyone's been using Wailord's Pokedex height to measure his length. It sounds confusing, but this is actually a common quirk amongst the Pokedex. Sometimes it means
Yeah.
vertical height, but other times, especially when you're talking about long Pokemon like Wailord, it means length. But
Yeah.
just to make sure that we didn't get the math wrong, I wanted to be extra careful. So I took a look at every depiction of Wailord that we've ever been given, like the size comparison tool from Generation 4, or the player character standing next to Wailord in Sword and Shield. Given that the trainers in the series are usually around 5 foot 4 inches, there's no way that Wailord's 47-foot height in the Pokedex could refer to anything other than his length. So,
Yeah,
with that one
it
settled,
can't be
I
his
was able to
vertical
make sure
height.
that our Blender whale was scaled correctly. And by creating a mesh for him, we can use Blender's volume calculator to tell us that Wailord has
Okay.
a volume of 182.8557 cubic meters precisely. No estimates, no assumptions. That
Okay.
is the exact number. From there, all
Okay.
we have to do is divide Wailord's 398 kilograms by his volume to get a definitive density. Drum roll, please. Really,
What
that's
is
the
that
best you got?
drum roll?
Gotta admit, I don't know what we gotta do at this point. I'm perturbed by the lack of a solid drum roll. You see, fix it, man. Pull
The
out
drum
all
roll
the
does not
expenses next
have a
time. I
good
want a drum
drum
roll
roll.
that will melt minds. Promise? Yossi, I put you in the shaving episode, so you better promise me. Thank you. Where was I? Oh yeah, his true density. Wailord's
Okay.
true density is 2.18
So
kilograms
the
per
Reddit one
cubic
was pretty
meter,
accurate.
Which means that I can now say without a shadow of a doubt that Wailord is not lighter than air. Even if you don't include Wailord's tail in the overall calculation, it still wouldn't be enough to get him airborne.
No.
And honestly, all this checks out. Wailord being lighter than air would have broken the other information that the Pokedex tells us about.
Yeah.
Wailord's Pokedex entries going all the way back to Sapphire tell us that Wailord can knock out prey by the shock of its splash, which, you know, is gonna be pretty hard to do when you're so light you can't even hit the water. So there you have it, my friends. The debate is finally squashed. Wailord is not lighter than air. Reddit
Okay.
was right. Not completely, obviously, but their conclusion was
No.
pretty darn close for an estimate. I guess we'll just have to leave
Exactly.
floating off to the sky to Team Rocket.
Team Rocket blast off again. Yeah.
And now with that one out of the way, tune in next time when we calculate how the density of Cosmoem would end the known universe. But hey,
I would
while
like
the
to
Pokedex
see
is
that
a great
episode.
tool for trainers like you to keep track of the heights and weights of every Pokemon, maybe it should also have something to help trainers keep track of the most important thing, their finances.
This is gonna
As we've
be-
said time and time again, being a Pokemon master ain't cheap. Pokemon masters are broke. They can't pay them bills. Fortunately, today's sponsor so far hit get even stronger by to win. But even better, link is in the description.
Okay, yeah, that's just an ad. Okay. Wow, yeah, no, it really does not surprise me that Wailord is not lighter than air. Like, Wailord's massive. But using the Sword and Shield model, blah, blah, blah. Using the Sword and Shield model and then going into Blender to find the exact exact volume, I should say, was actually way smarter than something I would have thought to do. That's why MatPat does this and gets paid to do it, and I just react to it. So, yeah, but that's actually not really a surprising conclusion, in my opinion. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Oh God, my hair! What the hell is going on? Whatever. That's actually not surprised me at all. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later with another video. Take it easy and peace out, everyone.